Life is short, but I spent years living like I had an endless supply of time, always telling myself, I'll start someday, while my days blurred into work, sleep, repeat again and again. Then I learned a number that genuinely shocked me. 30,000. That's the average number of days a person lives. Sounds like a lot, right? But here's the thing. If you're 20 years old, 7,300 days are already gone. If you're 30, more than 11,000 have disappeared. If you're 40, you're past the halfway point. And suddenly, someday doesn't feel so far away anymore. Someday isn't a destination. It's a trap. It's where dreams go to die. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 powerful ideas that completely transformed how I experience time. These aren't productivity hacks or morning routines. These are mindset shifts about how life actually works and how to make sure you don't wake up at 60 wondering where it all went. Part 1, the time paradox. Let's start with something strange. When you were a kid, summer vacation felt like it lasted forever, right? 3 months felt like an eternity. You'd go on a family trip, learn to swim, build forts with friends, and it felt like a whole lifetime packed into those months. But now, entire years disappear in what feels like weeks. You blink, and it's December again. Where did the time go? Here's what's happening. Your brain isn't recording anymore. When you were young, everything was new. Your first time on a plane, learning to ride a bike, your first day of school. Each experience was unique, so your brain paid attention and created vivid memories. That's why time felt slow and rich, because your brain was actively recording. But as adults, we fall into routines, the same morning coffee, the same commute, same traffic, same route, same parking spot, the same work tasks, the same lunch, the same evening shows. Our brains recognize the pattern and go on autopilot to save energy. And here's the brutal truth. If your brain isn't recording, the time doesn't really count. Think about your last month. How many days can you actually remember as distinct, separate experiences? For most people, it's maybe 3 or 4 days out of 30. The rest? They've blurred together into a gray fog of sameness. This is why years fly by like months now. You're not actually living 365 different days. You're living the same day 365 times. But here's the good news. You can hack this. The solution is novelty. You need to shock your brain awake with new experiences, and it doesn't have to be big. You don't need to quit your job and backpack through Asia. For me, it started small. I took a different route on my evening walk. Suddenly, I noticed houses and gardens I'd walked past for years, but never really seen. I tried cooking one new recipe each week, even if it was just adding a spice I'd never used before. I started learning random facts about topics that intrigued me. Each small new experience forces your brain to pay attention and create a unique memory. It's like adding more distinct frames to the movie of your life. And when you look back, your life feels longer, richer, more vivid. Here's your action step. This week, do one thing differently every single day. It can be tiny. Sit in a different spot for breakfast. Take a different route to work. Try a food you've never had. Text an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. Listen to a music genre you'd normally skip. You're not just filling your calendar, you're creating memories that will actually stick. You're quite literally slowing down your subjective experience of time. Second part, the 2-version test. Now here's the second idea, and this one changed everything for me. I used to make decisions based on what seemed practical, what made logical sense, what other people expected. And somehow I still felt lost, like I was checking boxes, but not actually living. Then I learned this question: what would make both my 8-year-old self and my 80-year-old self happy? Your 8-year-old self is still inside you. They're that kid who believed anything was possible, who had wild dreams, who got excited about the smallest things. They just wanted to have fun, to explore, to be brave enough to try. Now imagine them looking at your life today. Would they be proud, or would they be heartbroken, seeing you play it safe, day after day, choosing comfort over curiosity, security over dreams? And then there's your 80-year-old self. They've lived your entire life. They're sitting in a chair somewhere, looking back across decades. And here's what they know. They don't care about your job title. They don't remember the emails you stressed over. They don't regret the things you tried and failed at, but they do regret the things you were too afraid to try. The person you never asked out, the trip you postponed forever, the creative project you kept saying you'd start next year, the risks you didn't take because you cared too much about what other people thought. Your 80-year-old self cares about memories, about laughter, about love, about courage, about the moments when you felt truly alive. I now use these two versions as my compass for every major decision. When I'm considering a new project, I ask, would my 8-year-old self get excited? Would my 80-year-old self nod knowingly and say, yes, this will matter? If both answer yes, I do it, even if it's scary. When I'm stressing over some minor problem at work, I ask, will my 80-year-old self even remember this? Usually the answer is no, and suddenly the anxiety loses its power. When I'm choosing between a safe path and an uncertain one, I imagine both versions of myself. The 8-year-old whispers, but what if it's amazing? The 80-year-old whispers, you'll regret it if you don't try. Here's your action step. Think about one decision you're stuck on right now. Close your eyes and imagine your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self sitting across from you. What would they say? What do they want for you? This simple filter clarifies what truly matters and what you'll actually care about when you're looking back on your life. If this helped you get unstuck or see things differently, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and also your story might inspire someone else too. Part 3, the reversible door. The third idea is about a mistake that paralyzes most of us. We treat every decision like it's permanent, like we're walking through a one-way door that locks behind us forever. If I take this job, I'm stuck forever. If I move to this city, I can never leave. If I start this business and it fails, it's all over. This all or nothing thinking keeps us frozen. We agonize for months over decisions, trying to guarantee we make the perfect choice. But here's the truth. Most people miss. Most decisions are two-way doors. They're reversible. You can turn around. Don't like your new job? You can quit. Move to a new city and it's not working? You can move back. Started a side project and lost interest? You can stop. Tried a new hobby and it's not your thing? You can try something else. Jeff Bezos talks about this concept at Amazon. He says the key to moving fast is recognizing which doors are one-way, truly irreversible decisions like selling your company or having a child, and which are two-way. The two-way doors deserve quick decisions and experimentation. The one-way doors deserve deep thought. I used to agonize over everything. Every decision felt life or death. Then I learned to ask, is this truly irreversible? And 90% of the time, the answer is no. This realization gave me a superpower, the freedom to experiment with my own life. I started that YouTube channel I'd been thinking about. If it failed, I could delete it. It's a two-way door. I reached out to people I admired for coffee chats. If they said no, I'd just move on. Two-way door. The goal isn't to be right every time. It's to move, to test, to learn. Life isn't a straight ladder where one wrong step means you fall off. It's a jungle gym. The best progress often comes from sideways moves, even backward moves, that teach you something new. Here's your action step. Identify one thing you've been putting off because you're treating it like a one-way door. Ask yourself honestly, is this really irreversible? Can I walk back if it doesn't work out? If it's a two-way door, and most are, give yourself permission to try. You're not committing to forever. You're just experimenting with this month, this week, today. So, to bring it all together, life isn't about finding more time. You can't. It's about making the time you have actually count. Slow down time by seeking new experiences, even tiny ones. Break the autopilot. Let your inner child and your future self guide your decisions. They know what really matters. Give yourself permission to walk through reversible doors. Stop waiting for perfect certainty. Experiment with your own life. Because here's the truth, your habits become your days become your years become your life. You don't have to overhaul everything today. Just start with one small thing. Take a different route tomorrow. Ask your 8-year-old and 80-year-old selves about that decision you're stuck on. Walk through one reversible door this week. 30,000 days is all we get. Some of yours are already gone. But the ones ahead, those are still yours to shape. Don't waste them living the same day on repeat. If you liked this video or if it gave you something, consider liking and subscribing. This is actually my first video, and honestly, I was doubting whether I should even make it. But I use this exact strategy to move myself forward, to stop using someday as an excuse. I hope this inspired you to change at least one tiny thing in your life. See you in my next video.